Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for having invited me today to present the Erasmus Mundus program. I'm really glad to be here, and I'm really glad to talk about Erasmus Mundus program because it's like an hobby for me. I love so much this program. I think it's a wonderful one, so I hope that you will believe me after my presentation, and I hope that European institutions and Canadian institutions will cooperate more closely in the future. So at the beginning of the construction of the program, the European Commission had the idea to push the European universities to work together. And this wasn't so natural, even if they were involved in a lot of projects together. It wasn't so natural to build common master or PhD program. So the idea was to push them to work together and to attract the best students in Europe. So students from all over the world. The aim was to, of course, enhance the quality of European higher education and the visibility. If you want to attract students, you have to be visible and visible. And of course, one of always the main objective of the European Union is to promote dialogue and understanding between people and culture. This is really an important aspect to this program. So what exactly is Erasmus Mundus? It's one program, but divided into 3 actions. The main action is the action 1, because it's the oldest one. It's concerned the joint master and joint doctorate program. And this action is built in the way that it's a minimum of 3 European universities have to be involved in a consortium, plus if it's needed, or if it's university wanted for the research or education aspect, this consortium can include non-European university. But it's not an obligation to have non-European university inside the consortium. But of course, for the quality of the master or the PhD program, and for the networking and for the quality of the program, it's really important to have really worldwide cooperation. So it's always really welcome to have a consortium with European university and non-European university. So the joint program, master or PhD, is constructed behind this umbrella of name consortia or consortium. And this consortium built a common framework, common program, fully integrated at master or PhD level. What means fully integrated? It means that the construction of the master courses, the selection of students, the criteria selection, the criteria of everything is built together. So all the university inside the consortium agreed on one common framework. This is not so easy, but it is interesting in that way because it means that everybody is on the same level of understanding and on the same comprehension and on the same involvement inside the consortium. It means also one unique tuition fees for all the consortia, even if it's a non-European university involved in the consortia. So this is also really important aspect of this kind of project. For the student, the mobility inside the consortium is mandatory, and they have to be mobile in at least 2 European countries and or plus non-EU non-European country. And at the end of these master courses or this joint PhD program, they will receive, and this is the minimum requirement, at least double degree, so 2 degree, or multiple degree, or joint degree. Joint degree means one paper with the signature of each president of university or authority, depends the country that are involved, because depends of the legislation on this aspect. And it is important, the joint degree, because the Commission, the European Commission, want to go further on this aspect, on this joint degree diploma, or on this unique paper. And of course, the Action 1 also provide scholarship for students, for PhD and academics, for high-level students. The competition is quite hard. I think that we will have some example after my presentation. But for instance, for one master courses, we can have like 600 applications and only 10 or between 10 and 15 students selected all over the world. So the competition is really hard, and this is why we can say that it's also a quality program and program of excellence. Now, since 2008 is a new action, the Action 2, that under the Erasmus Mundus program. This action, it's more mobility scheme action. It's not only for the master or PhD level, but at all level, and it's multidisciplinary project or mobility. But as always, in the European, when you apply for European program, you have to apply inside a consortium with minimum of 3 European universities, plus number of non-European universities. For the Action 2, the action is divided by lot, geographical area. For Canada, it's the same lot that US, it's North America lot. So it's under the strand 2, because it's Action 2, strand 1, Action 2, strand 2. It's a little bit complicated. So for the partnership under the Action 2, you need to have minimum 3 European university, plus 3 US, plus 3 Canadian. If you want to have more, of course, it's possible, but you cannot have less than 9 universities in the total in this lot. And for Canada and for North America, you have specific priority. So you cannot apply if it's not for this, if it's not match the priorities. For the one concerning the North America is political sciences, sciences and technologies. And under the consortium, you have, of course, scholarships again for the high-level students, but and academics, but it's only from 3 months to 3 years. Depends on the project of the student, or depends if it's at PhD level or master level. I will give you more details after on. And the Action 3, sorry, it's attractiveness project. It's project funded to promote higher education, European higher education worldwide. So I'm not going to talk a lot about this action because it's not really, it's concerning, of course, a Canadian institution, because you can take part as Canadian university in this project. But it's not academic, real academic project. So what the opportunities for Canadian universities? So in practice, under the Action 1, you can be full or associate partner to a master or doctorate program. Full partner means that you agree on all the common rules under the consortia. It means that you will give courses, receive students, give your degree, be agree on one tuition fees. This is really big issue here in Canada. not only in Canada, but of course compared to France, that the tuition fee are not really high. For instance, that in Canada it's totally different. So you have to be agree on one tuition fees. This is negotiation, step-by-step negotiation. And of course, you will also monitor students and have a relationship with your colleagues from all over the European partners. Under the Action 2, you can take part as university to the partnership. You can send and receive only PhD and post-PhD students, and send or receive academic and staff. This is also important, staff. Not only academic, but staff. And we need staff to build this program. We need staff to help students to get the visa. We need staff to provide all the information, the paper. This is really important. And I think it's a good idea to have the staff mobility under the Action 2. It helps a lot at the end to manage the program. In the Action 3, again, you can be partner to promote European higher education in your country. Then for the Canadian academic and administrative staff, you can get fellowships. Under the Action 1, you don't need to, you university don't need to be part of one of the consortia. You can apply directly to the coordinator of the master or joint program, of joint PhD program. No, sorry, for the academic it's only at master level. So if you want to teach, research, monitor students in Europe under the Erasmus Mundus master courses, you have a list of master courses that have been selected, and you can apply directly to the coordinator to ask for scholarship and to be involved in the consortium for a period of from 2 weeks to 3 months. And for that, you have a scholarship from 2,400 euros to 14,400 euros. And you have the activities are quite diverse. You can, of course, teach, but also doing some research. This is quite important, I think, and monitor students. Under the Action 2, if you want to take part to this action, you have to be involved in you have to be member of university involved in the partnership. And the activities almost the same. You can doing some research, have some teaching activities for academic or for staff, job shadowing or training. For instance, at an international relations office in the university. And it's 1 to 3 months scholarship, around 2,500 euros a month. Plus your salary, huh? You don't, you keep it in your pocket. I don't know if it's a student here, but it's quite interesting. If you want to promote Erasmus Mundus to your students, to tell them that they can apply to all the selected master courses. It's more than 130 by now at master for master program, and around 30 at PhD program. So they can apply in any master program directly to the coordinator. The duration of the program of the grant is 2 years for master courses and 3 years for PhD level. This is important because in French and in Europe, we are now under the LMD process. It's the Bologna process. I don't know if you know this Bologna process, but all over Europe you have the same higher education system. It's license, 3 years, masters, 2 years, and PhD, 3 years. So I think that during the negotiation with your partner, you have to be in mind that this is the European standard. But of course, if you don't have the same standards, you can find a way to collaborate, and it's happened every day. So don't worry about that. But it's the common standard framework in France, in Europe. It's LMD scheme, or I don't framework. So for them, the grant is quite high. It covers everything: travel, fees, living allowance, and it's around 24,000 euro a year for master level and 43,000 euro a year for PhD level. Under the Action 2, your student, if your university is member of this partnership, you can send your PhD or post-PhD student for a period of 6 to 36 months in Europe, or in a university member of the consortia, and the grant is around 1,500 euro a month. Plus, of course, the insurance and the fees, the amount for the fees, that it's around 3,000 euro a year. Sorry. So, what's benefit for a Canadian institution? First of all, it's of course strengthening cooperation between EU, European University, and Canadian University. But also enhancing internationalization through excellence. And this is really important in both sides, European side or Canadian side, that we need to be attractive, we can say that, and we need to attract the best students in our faculty. We need to have high level standard of higher education. So I think it's interesting to take part to this program, because it's really giving opportunity to university to be more attractive on that way, and also to deepening research project. I think that also it's really important in the context now that research projects are worldwide. You are not only researching in your own institution and not just close your eyes and not looking what happened around. So also to have connection with Europe, it's important in that way, and maybe more concerning the European studies or political sciences or other history, or of course all other topics. But as you have seen before, it's one of the Canadian priority: political sciences, and so on. And in that way, sharing comparative approach, we don't have the same way to teach, maybe to research, or we don't have the same approach on that field. Broadening network, but I think that now we are all aware that it's really important to have network to continue the research, to continue to attract students. And also one of the important benefits is to welcome really high-level students in your university, in your faculty. And I think that the example that we will have later on will show that at that point that it's really important. They are really well-qualified, top-quality students or PhD students under this program. And also, maybe it's the last things I would like to say is really important. It's putting in place mechanisms to facilitate mobility and degree recognition. Because the main point on this cooperation is the recognition. Recognition of credit, recognition of degree, recognition of research, of education. And I think that this program helps the university and the academics to provide to the students more visibility on this mechanism. And I think it's really important for the co-tutelle de thèse, for instance, or for this joint degree aspect. So if you cooperate, you know more your partner, you know more the university that you will send your student, or you will better know the way to recognize the credits and everything, and this is really a key point. Now from the statistics, I would like to just to show some statistics. Under the Action 1, it's now 131 master courses that have been selected, and 8 including Canadian institutions. It's quite good compared to other countries. It means that the Canadian institutions are quite involved in the Erasmus Mundus program. And of course, because France is leader in this program, that the Canadian institutions are involved with French institutions also under this program. So I think for me, to be here today, it's a sense to be. It's interesting to show that we cooperate a lot under this program. At doctorate level, it's only 30. I have a problem with number. 34 PhD programs that have been selected, and 2 including Canadian institutions. PhD, the difference of master and doctorate is that doctorate is a new action under the Action 1. It's only since 2009. Before it was only the Erasmus Mundus concerning only master level. Now it's PhD level too. So France, you can see the statistics were well involved in this program. It was a good opportunity for our university to cooperate with other European universities and with non-European university. And I think that I think that because of this cooperation, the things change inside the university. That the academics that one professor in these labs that now collaborate more with the other colleague that he was doing before because of the Erasmus Mundus program. I know it seems really strange, but it's true that because it's open also the way to research, the way to work with their own colleague inside their labs or their faculty. Under the Action 2, it's only 2 projects that have been selected since 2010. It's also new strand for the Canadian institution. So it's only 2 partnerships selected. It's the one with the University of British Columbia and McGill University. The name is Transatlantic Partnership for Excellence in Engineering. And the other one, it's with the Université de Montréal, McGill University and McMaster University in cognitive neurosciences. So I have some example of project, but I think we will have more description and more details later on. But this slide shows that a lot of Canadian institutions are involved with French institutions. French institutions are leader on the coordination of master courses. So, for instance, you have one in master in mathematics with Bordeaux 1 University and Concordia University, one in clay sciences with Université de Poitiers and Ottawa University, other one in neuroscience with Bordeaux again and Université de Laval, and it's University of Laval, I think. No? Another one in the migration and social cohesion thematic with York University and Université de Poitiers. And so on. I will give you if you want the PowerPoint, if you want to have all the example. But it's a lot. You have also at doctorate level, the one including Canadian institution are coordinated by French institution, and this is really important to note that. The one is Algandoc in a mathematics, algebra, geography, and number theory with Bordeaux 1 University and Concordia University. And the second one, we will have a speaker, I think, for this project, EDS Funmat, and it's also with Bordeaux 1 University and University of Waterloo. And of course, all the other European and non-European. Like you can see, it's for the Algandoc, you have Canadian University as a non-EU partner, but also Indian University. So the selection process, I don't know if you are interested by that, but I would like to say that it's really transparent process. I know that it's maybe it's maybe bizarre to say that, but I would like to say that it's really a global competition, but the process is really clear and transparent. So for the Action 1, Action 2, and Action 3, the selection process is managing by the executive agency. It's the agency, it's the European Commission executive agency dealing for the education and research program. So this agency is in charge of the eligibility and the selection criteria. As national structure, we are only involved for the eligibility of the degree. They ask us if this degree is eligible. It means that fully recognized by the authority, national authority. In France, it's the Ministry of Education. In your country, it's different, but by the authority that are in charge of the degree recognition. For the Action 2, the EU delegation is involved in this selection process. The delegation is involved for the eligibility of the institution, not for the degree, because you don't have to deliver a degree under the Action 2. It's only mobility scheme program. And also, the EU delegation is really looking for the relevant regional priorities, the one that have been chosen by the North America strand. And of course, the proposals are assessed by external experts and then by a selection board, and the final selection is doing by the committee selection board. And before it was signed by the parliament. So you imagine it was a really long, long process. In practice, you have one program, 3 actions, but 1 call. So this is quite easy. The call is published every mid-December, so the next, it will be in the December 2011. The deadline is at the end of April 2012, and the selection result will be published in July 2012. And after that, if you are selected, you have almost 1 year, from July 2012 to September 2013, to provide information to students and to select the student can have a scholarship under your master or PhD program. Also, really important things is to read the key documents. You have 3 main documents: the program guide, guideline for applicants, it's only for Action 2, and of course the call for proposals. I know it's really boring to read that. We always try to escape. Me too. I don't like to read, the call, but it's essential. You cannot apply if you don't know the rules, because if you work with your partner, everybody should know the rules, and the rules are given here inside these key documents. So please don't forget to read really carefully all these documents. And after that, you will be an expert, because it's a lot of documents. I know that it's really important. I think that you can also have a look on this project and this website. It's 2 projects that have been funded by the EU under the Action 3, Erasmus Mundus program. It's the Erasmus Mundus Alumni Association. And this is important because you have a Canadian chapter under this Alumni Association. So you have Canadian students that have already been involved in a master or PhD program. They can promote in your university the program or in Canada to the enterprises, to the other university. So it's quite important for the communication and for the networking. So you can, of course, contact them if you are interested also to organize in your university this kind of information session. And I think it's more relevant when it's a student talking to another student than if I'm talking directly to the student. I think it's not the same. So it's also important to think about this association. And you have also one important website. It's a common study in Europe, and you have also this information for Canada. Another one, the other project is the EMID. It's to bring together the Erasmus Mundus community, that coordinator of program, students, national structure, to be stronger for the networking again, but also for the dissemination and exchange of good practices. So, and this project is coordinated by Bordeaux One University, and including also a Canadian institution as partner with Concordia University. So you have all the useful information on website, the website of the executive agency. Quite interesting tool, it's also the Erasmus Mundus partner search tool. So you can find partner on this website. I'm not really kind of these things because I will be maybe not really politically correct, but I think that you cannot be successful under Erasmus Mundus program if you don't know your partner, if you don't already know them. Because it's so, it's not so hard, but you have to engage yourself and a lot of time. And if you don't know your partner, if you don't know the way they are working, or you can build together master or PhD program at that level. So partner search tool, I'm not really kind, but of course this exists, and it's maybe helpful for a lot of programs, but I'm not sure that they are selected if they just ask for a partner and apply the 2 months 2 months before the deadline. Not sure that it's really working well, but anyway. You have also the website of the EU delegation and the French Erasmus Mundus national structure. We have a lot of information in French, sorry, not in English, and also example of project, and we have also a compendia compendium of project, and again the alumni association that for the North America chapter you have the link on this slide. So I think this is the end of my presentation. If you have a question, don't hesitate to ask me. I'm here to answer your question.